So the sun is actually still out. Finally, finally getting back into the groove of things. There we go. A little bit of a hiccup. Had a real late lift last night. Actually, no, was the last night lit? Two night. I can't remember. I think it might have been that chest day that was really late. Yeah, that sounds about right. But headed out to the gym at 4. I got the whole night to chill once I come back. There's a Goodwill on the way to the gym that I'm going to right now too. So once I'm done with the lift, I get to make a little pit stop, find some kind of something. Go to, let's just say, sweet spots, which I'm always going to be sort of prone to check out. You got to go to the t-shirts, start at the 4XL side, and then move your way down. Ideally, you shouldn't have to, well, ideally, you wouldn't even be able to really wear a large, and an extra large should be a little bit tight. 2X is, that's where it's at. And then in terms of the sweatpants, man, you got a lot of leeway, right? Because people don't get big vertically, right? They get thicker. So, if I'm looking for some sick sweatpants, because I like that baggy look, dude, again, straight to the 4X. Sure, you might have to pull the drawstring like a foot to tie it on, but that's where the heat is. Unrelated to drip, let's discuss. Let's just discuss the pre-workout. So 2 scoops of the watermelon bloodshot, 1 scoop of the peach hostility, and then so that's the hostility is the pre that has caffeine. The bloodshot's the caffeine free. I kind of feel like if you're like a 180 pounder, 1 scoop will be fine. But you got to think the heavier, when you're a bigger dude, you're probably going to benefit from more stuff, right? A guy who's 180 pounds only really needs maybe 180 grams of protein, and as you get bigger, right, you need some more protein too. So I'll always double up with the servings. There definitely is there's a level of like diminishing return when it comes to taking all the citrulline and nitric oxide style pre's and whatnot. Like, I don't know whatever. It's not gonna hurt me to do double, even if I could get a solid pump on just 1 scoop or the other. But neither of them have beta alanine in them on their own, right? You can get that separately because not a lot of people love the beta alanine tingles, and so it doesn't get me in like I don't get fucking an itchy ass. That's what everybody kind of brings up whenever I talk about the beta alanine. Really, I just kind of get not even kind of just like a warm sort of tingly feeling all over like my face and kind of the back of my arms. But it's better now than it was the first time. I remember seeing some comment where somebody was saying that you kind of develop a what's like a tolerance to the beta alanine. Not in the sense that you won't get the benefits from it in terms of I think it's like pretty much like muscular endurance, but you just won't really feel that like tingly sensation anymore. It was funny, I had I had an old pre at the house like from a couple of years ago, and my brother asked like, "Hey man, you using this?" And then the next day he told me, "Oh dude, I think I was allergic to that pre." And I was like looking at the ingredients list, did it have beta alanine in it? And it's like, oh yeah, there it is. So I can see how it could be a little bit uncomfortable. It's not like I take beta alanine and then I say, oh wow, this feels awesome. But it's got some performance benefits, so I think I'll handle the discomfort. So by the time about 5 or maybe 10 minutes after I slam this, I should start to kind of feel some of that going on. And that's a perfect point why, I say this all the time, but this is kind of a stupid topic. People have already kind of come to the consensus that dry scooping your pre is stupid. But just in general, you should take your pre at least 20, maybe 30 minutes before you actually plan on starting your first couple of working sets. Because this stuff takes a little while to kind of, get kicking. I'm not just going to drink this and then 3 seconds later feel like all itchy and tingly from the beta alanine. and it takes a little bit of time to get broken down, absorbed, you know, this, that, and the other. And same thing with the caffeine. Same thing with all the pump ingredients and everything else. So, yeah, actually, you know what? Fine, whatever. We'll do a Badlands chug. Just slam this, and then we can cut to whatever the first arm movement is going to be. Oh, I didn't even talk about the arm training. If you've watched more than one of these arm days, then you pretty much get the gist of my style. The warm-up, honestly, before pushdowns, it's just pushdowns. So I did half the stack with both arms for a couple. Then I went a little heavier, went a little heavier. Got the stack, so I threw a plate on, then 2 plates on. And then I kind of had to add a little bit of a jerry-rigged band setup so that the third plate wouldn't fall off. But this will be a perfect start for tries. You know, typically I've been doing all of triceps first, all 8 sets, and then moving on to bis. I kind of want to change it up a little bit today. So I'm thinking I'll do 2 sets for triceps, then 2 sets for biceps, and go back and forth, 4 times. So by the time I finished 8 sets of tries and 8 sets of bis, I'll be fully pumped. Typically when I check the pump my way, bis are fully pumped, but tries have kind of deflated a little bit. So who knows, maybe it'll look extra freaky. But a solid set here, slow-ish, reasonably controlled, squeeze at the bottom. You know, what else can you ask for? Actually, I guess that's kind of a stupid question. I could ask for a heavier stack, but what are you going to do? Okay. All right. I'm going to leave this weight here. If it was packed in here, I'd take it off, but nobody's going to jump onto this one. There's other cables. Because I'm going to come back to this for the next 2 sets of triceps. But for bis, let's go do some strapped dumbbell curls. So after doing a couple of feeler reps with 30, 45, and then 65, I think I'll go a little lighter than normal. I think 65s will be good. I could probably go for the 75s, but the reps would get pretty dirty at the end. You know, I don't have a huge problem with form breakdown, but I kind of want to get a solid set of good reps first. At least 6 good reps before I start getting, you know, dirty with it. Okay. 5. Okay. One more like that. That'll be perfect. Oh, fuck. All right, let's go back to those heavy push downs. It's been a long time since I've done this style of training. Kind of not really supersetting, but just going back and forth between muscle groups. I used to do this every arm day and every chest day. Oh, no. Every arm day and every leg day. What it would be, you know, a set of push downs and a set of curls, and then a set of push downs and curls back and forth. You know, just a ton of times. And oh, yeah, I love it. Yeah, so yeah, I used to go back and forth like this all the time, but as of late, I've kind of been on like in the mentality of like focus on one whole muscle, just destroy it, finish, and then move on to the next one. But I don't want my training to get stale, so I'm gonna keep changing it up every so often. But yeah, those push downs are calling my name. Let's get back over there. Okay. Okay. Let's do some machine preachers. Still gonna push it. The whole stack is 200. I think 140 for single arm should feel good. I don't mess with these handles. Like, just something about how stationary they are. They put my wrist at a weird angle. So I throw a little D handle onto it, which typically I find that like, yeah, I think it's kind of stupid. Like when people do lat pull downs and they put the D handles on the pull down to turn it into a neutral grip movement. I just think that's, it's like what happens when one side slips. But use your best judgment. Sometimes adding weird attachments to shit is a good move. And sometimes it just makes you look stupid. So that's up to you to figure out for yourself. But 2 sets here should be sweet. I could have got a few more reps on that left arm, but the right one only got 18. And since the right one's a little bit behind the left one, I cut it at 18 for this one, so the right one can catch up. But let's do some kind of something for triceps. Not sure what yet. I'll take a minute to kind of scan around for what's available. Okay, next 2 sets for tris. I'll just do some single arm push downs. Now these aren't going to be focusing on like just as much weight as possible, like the last set of straight bar push downs was. I'm definitely going to emphasize the squeeze at the bottom a bit more. Honestly, I'll even go a little bit lighter so I can seriously squeeze it, right? Because I find this probably applies most with like the rope for pushdowns. You know, sure, I can go heavy with the rope, but I don't get that same squeeze at the bottom as I can if I like use half the stack or less. So 2 sets slowish, lighter squeezing, kind of trying to just burn out. And then we can move on to another set of curls or, you know, something for biceps. I think I'm going to try an interesting bicep movement next. But the burn on those feels so much different than even just the 3 plates on the heavy pushdowns. You know, I like an even contrast of light squeezing sets as well as kind of heavy, just brutish, move the weight around sets. But let's try a little something for buys next. The third movement on buys, and try some well, I guess not Menser style, but he's kind of the one who popularized it. He's kind of making a resurgence nowadays, but some close grip underhanded pull downs, bicep biased. So it's a little bit tricky, but basic premise is you grab kind of a straight bar, put your hands reasonably close together, definitely not wider than shoulder width, but probably somewhere within this range should feel pretty good. And then don't try to pull with your back at all. What I'm trying to imagine is like, well, I guess just pulling with my biceps. That's as good of a description as I can give it. But the stack was a little too light, so I did the stack plus a plate. But these I'll definitely do a lot slower, more controlled. Really try to get a super good squeeze at the bottom. And then, you know, with a movement like this, the fatigue kind of sneaks up on you. Like same thing with this one overhead tricep extension machine I've used before, which I wish they had here because I love it so much. You know, I'll do 10 reps and be like, oh, I don't really feel anything. But then as soon as I hit 12, it's like I can just fucking barely move it. So definitely a different way to hit biceps, that's for sure. So in the spirit of changing up the training stimulus, this is perfect. So 2 of these. Yeah. All right. I like that. But sometimes this movement's hit or miss. You know, I've tried this on other bicep days. And after the first couple reps, I was like, okay, this sucks. I'm moving on to straight bar curls. So, you know, sometimes it just depends on the day. But let's finish with some kind of push down and then go back to what I'm assuming to be preacher curls, but I may change it up, I don't know. And then arms is, we're 75% of the way done. Look at that. Didn't even have to change up the shot. Let's just go back and do some more straight bar push downs. I was thinking about moving on to the rope, but kind of want to do straight bar. I love that. All right, one more. One more. All right. Let's go do some easy bar preachers and arms is gonna be done. That set of straight bar pushdown burned so much more than the initial one. Like, I'd almost get, since this is a little bit lighter, this kind of reminds me of how I do pull downs in a sense. Like my first set of heavy ass pull downs where I got the stack and I throw a bunch of plates on the side, like I get fatigued. Like I can tell by the end of the set when I have to rack it, like, oh dude, I'm feeling it in the lats. But it's a totally different sensation than coming back to the pull downs later, going lighter and really getting that burn. So that's why I like doing sets in different ways, you know? All right, last two sets. For this first one, I think I'll just do, well, I'm just gonna do a normal straight set. So pretty much hit failure, get a couple partials out, just right here, rack it and be done. For the next set as the finisher, I think I may consider doing, I mean, obviously a set to failure is first, right? Preacher style. And then if I think I've got a little bit extra juice in the tank, I'll jump up, flip around, and grab the bar and do some standing easy bar curls. Because doing a standing curl is much easier than doing a preacher like this. So it's almost like a mechanical drop set in a sense. But let's not focus on a set in the future. Let's focus on what I gotta do right now. Okay. One more. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go check this complete arm pump. Oh. All right. It's a painful set of circumstances when a lifter can't find a good posing spot, especially when he's got a peak pump. But luckily I can get in the squat rack. And there's another one to the left of me. I'm not hoarding the only one just to pose. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But no, so let's check this shit out. Holy crap. So I can make me lose my balance. All right, we're definitely working with something here. Let's bust out some poses and really get a better idea. Oh, jeez. Whoops. Oh. Okay. Let's see, what else is there? Front lat spread. Ooh. Oh, yeah, dude. Freaking buys and tries pumped at the same time. I feel like my arms are an extra inch bigger. Honestly, if I had a measuring tape, we'd be able to get some actual numerical data instead of just visual estimations. So the leaner we get, the more interesting triceps are going to become specifically, because your tris, like your quads, you know, like if you ever see somebody really lean, like do a most muscular and like flex their chest, right? You can see kind of some muscle fibers crawling across it, right? The same shit will happen with your triceps and your quads. Like you'll start to get these little lines going, well, pretty much like hash marks going across your fucking, you know, long head, short head, every head on the fucking tricep. So that's what I'm kind of hyped up for. Because once I get a touch leaner towards the end of this cut, hitting one of these should get a little extra crazy. Because I've still got a little bit of something blocking my skin from the muscle. A little bit of flubber. Not much though. Not freaking much. Oh. That's kind of a cool shot for me. I don't know if it translates for the camera, but getting some lat veins poking out. Oh my goodness. Let's see, what else is there? Really? Oh, I guess I already did front double bi. Fuck, man. How many other poses are there? Just most muscular? Oh. Same thing. That'll get freakier too as we get leaner. I mean, honestly, just getting leaner in general, it's going to make all your poses look freakier. But I'm going to go sit on the calf machine, do my 8 sets of what I aim to be daily calf stimulation. You know, I'm only going to throw 1 plate on the seated calf raise, you know, pump it out, get up a good burn, get a calf pump, and then I can leave. And then I was going to say I'll see you in the car, but I guess I'll see you in the car after Goodwill, because it's only like 3 seconds away from the gym. I'm not going to do like a 3-second clip and then have to turn it off and back on. But I mean, this is a freaking solid arm pump. So maybe I'll do this sort of back and forth style more often. I guess I'll see. But I will see you in a little bit. All right. That's a little bit unfortunate. It's 6:07, and typically they're open until 8. These mofos shut this bitch down at 6. Unlucky. But you can't plan for the unplannable. So let's just get back to the crib and get ready to eat. Oh, that guy had a sidecar on his motorcycle. I was kind of hoping he'd have a dog in it. That's cool. All right, so yeah, I gotta get home and eat. Not really sure what I want to eat. Let's so I'm not bulking. I don't get the I don't get the luxury of just being able to eat absolutely anything in any quantity essentially right now. So let's look over the current macros consumed for the day and judge my decision based off of that. So 6 o'clock ish, probably gonna go to bed at maybe I want to say 10, but I probably mean 1. So let's think about this. I got 90 grams of protein left and about 100 or so grams of carbs left. So about 800 calories at my disposal. I am not exactly sure. I'll figure it out. I don't know. I've got a couple of steaks, which I'm gonna have to eat in the next couple of days so I don't let them go bad. I always feel like such a chump throwing out food like that. That's the worst. I try not to do it. That's why I like having the carton eggs, because those things last fucking forever. So I've got a, oh dude, this is kind of cool. So not only do I like that Carb Master chocolate milk, you know, the kind I got when I went to the grocery store in the last video, but there's Carb Master just normal ass milk, and that's sweet too. You know, I would say like, you know, protein from milk. Right? If you look up the like kind of basically a grading scale of proteins, it's right up there with fucking steak and chicken and eggs and everything else that's fucking good for you. So I do not mind just slamming a couple cups of milk. But obviously I can't be drinking whole milk right now, not even close. That would, if I drink like 5 cups of whole milk, that would be more than half of my calories for the whole day. So instead of doing that, I did get the Carb Master, just like basically skim milk, which is pretty cool. That's so that's just per cup 11 grams of protein and then 3 grams of carbs, 0 grams of fat. So those are some pretty freaking sweet macros. And honestly, it's giving me the same sort of I feel kind of weird saying satisfaction, but you know, I don't notice anything different. It's not like, it's not just watery like normal skim milk, so it's sweet. You know, every so often, I mean, you've seen whenever I do a clip in the kitchen, I've got cereal in the fucking cupboard. You know, I don't mind pouring myself out a little bowl of like maybe 50-ish grams of carbs worth of the Fruit Loops. But if I add, you know, 2 cups of whole milk to that, then that really turns it into a big chunk of calories, the likes of which aren't really going to make me feel that full. But just a couple cups of the cereal, and then that's, you know, the Carb Master skim milk. You know, then I'm only looking at like a 200, 300 calorie bowl and a nice sweet treat for me. So that's perfect. You know, I'm not a, I can understand the logic. Like I can see the mental toughness aspect of chicken, rice, broccoli, repeat, eat like a machine. You know, and to an extent, I mean, I feel that, right? Food does have a tangible correlation, like a pretty freaking direct correlation to how your body, you know, looks and is composed. But, you know, I don't get so crazy about it to treat it purely as fuel. Like it's still kind of something you should be enjoying. So that's why I like my method of the, well, not my method, but the method I use of tracking all the macros and aiming for those macro numbers at the end of the day instead of just, you know, meal by meal. Because then I can kind of cater it to, you know, whatever I feel like eating. Now, I mean, sure, it's a little bit trickier because then if I have to go do something like tomorrow, I'm going to have a couple hours worth of class where I'm going to have to pack some food right in the beginning. Or no, what am I saying? Right in the middle. Because I got a couple classes where I have like an hour and a half gap in between. So I can just ride the electric bike back to the house, you know, cook up a little thing of ground beef, eggs, whatever, and then go back on my way. But, you know, if you're in high school or whatever and you're prepping your food, dude, what's a high school day of school? Or even a work day? I guess honestly same thing pretty much in terms of the time constraint. You know, what are you going, 4, 5 hours without food? Hey man, I don't know if I would want to do it, right? I Well, I guess it depends. I don't know. I think I'm really talking about that in more of a bulking context. Like, if I was going to be out of the house for more than maybe 3 hours without access to, whatever kind of, I don't know, just food in general, then for a fact I'm going to pack at least some kind of shake or something. If you're bulking up, this is really getting off topic. We should be talking about cutting right now. But if you're bulking and you feel hungry at any point during the day, then I don't know if you're bulking hard enough. Now, what really should decide whether or not you're bulking hard enough, aka eating in a high enough calorie surplus, is obviously the amount of weight that you're gaining, and not just that, but the amount of body fat that you're gaining. Right? If you're eating in a surplus and the scale is going up, you got one aspect of it right. But if the scale is going up because you're just putting on loads and loads of fat, then you may need to trim the surplus a little bit. Well, a little bit. I'm all for putting on some poundage, but you want it to be quality weight, right? Like, you kind of want to ride the line of eating enough food that you're going to gain as much muscle as possible in the bulk, but not eating so much that all those extra calories are spilling over into just excess body fat. You know, not that I think a ton of people have a problem with that, at least in the context of like trying to bulk up and get big. But if you get too soft in the bulk, then you're going to give yourself some trouble on the cut. You know, it's probably better to stay relatively lean. I'm not talking about having, visible abs, but if you get too soft on the bulk, I think you're just kind of setting yourself up for not failure, but I would say potentially hardships on the oncoming cut, as it were. So I'll probably, mm, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll just cook up one of those, or maybe I'll do. This is what I'm thinking: half pound of that top round, so kind of a lean cut of steak. Maybe a salad with some salt and pepper, potentially just some balsamic vinegar. No Italian dressing, no ranch. Dude, you can have a salad and have it be 500 calories if you throw on a freaking ton of dressing like croutons or whatever. You know, it's that's one thing that kind of gets me. I think a lot of people, just in general, they don't have a solid understanding of just how food can affect the way that your body is composed. So when you hear kind of conventional stereotypes of like, oh, I'm having a salad, it's healthy. I mean, not inherently, you know, not when you freaking put on 30 grams of carbs and 20 grams of fat worth of ranch, and then you get what I'm saying. It's not like, what I focus on more so is the calories in and the calories out. So the calories out portion, that's the amount of energy that your body uses up, and the calories in portion is the amount of calories that you eat as food. Now, if your calories in are above your calories out, you're going to gain weight, and when you combine that with weight training, you're going to gain muscle. And if the calories in are less, or is less than the calories out, aka you're eating at a calorie deficit, then when you combine that with weight training, you're going to hold on to muscle and lose body fat. I think anybody that has a problem with that statement, I just think they're kind of overcomplicating this kind of stuff. So, home, food, CSGO 2, a little bit of homework, bed, and then cardio in the morning. So, I will see you next time for legs.